Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the rubble will always be the rubble, unfortunately. And unfortunately, we also have to rub shoulders and elbows with the rubble. Why? Because that's the way it is in a free society. But you also have the choice not to be involved in a rubble. But you will still be, or we will still be part of the rubble, we like it or not. Unless you live in a gated community and you have about, I don't know, $50 million and up, and you don't have to deal with baboons. Now, obviously, we in a society made up laws in order to organize a society. And, we put in place a mechanism that if the laws are broken or someone's rights are infringed or liberties, you have the law enforcement that would enforce the law. And you expect that in a civilized society. Now, Poland is a civilized country, is a European country, is a country that upholds the European values. So it's a Western country, it's one of the pinnacle country in democracy and freedom and all that. Obviously, I'm bullshitting. Why? Because this article shows the opposite. And it's just that is revealed the level of the rubble, which it is, as it is revealed in this article against the Russians. Now, if this would be against, the Irish or the Romanians, or the Romanians would do it against the Russians or something, I would have picked up that article and discuss it, because I discussed the idea, the principle, not that the Poles are doing this to the Russians, because I'm pretty sure the Russians will probably behave the same way with the Poles, the rubble. That's what it is, the civilized societies that we live in. So what am I talking about? This article comes from Sputnik, and it is from today, May 9th, 2023. This is the title. Aggressive crowd in Warsaw, the capital, prevents Russian ambassador from laying wreath at World War II memorial. The ones who thought, well, so, good for them. Well, I think you're a tyrant. Why? Because I think any person can go and do whatever, lay whatever to whatever. If you prevent and you're part of the crowd, then the law enforcement should step in, disperse the crowd, and allow the other person to live, free. Otherwise, you infringe as the crowd. A citizen infringes someone else's freedom of movement, and that's, I think, illegal. But I don't think that the Polish law enforcement intervened. So let's read it. An aggressive crowd has blocked the way. Now, if you block the way, you can't do that. Put yourself in the street and you want to go to a park and you have an aggressive crowd blocking your way. What do? You call the police shows up and allows you to go through. That's exactly what would have happened here. Even if those guys who blocked your way in the park are, let's say, the victims of something happened in the past and they're very angry, you still have rights. You know what I mean? You still have them. Unless you're a fugitive and then the police will come and arrest you. Or they would have arrested. Because from blocking, the next step is something else. So they blocked the way of the Russian ambassador to Poland, Sergei Andreev, at the Memorial Cemetery in Warsaw, where the diplomat arrived on Tuesday to lay flowers on Victory Day, a Sputnik correspondent reported. So, the crowd demanded that the ambassador remove the ribbon of St. George from his jacket. Remember, these are citizens. These are public. Tell another guy to remove something from his jacket. Based on what? If this is illegal, if the ambassador, had that ribbon on his jacket, they cannot say, you have to remove it, we're going to block your entrance. They don't have any right to do that. What they should have done, if that was illegal, call the law enforcement. The law enforcement would have come and observed, hey, you have this illegal whatever ribbon, you have to remove it or we're going to arrest you, or simply arrest the guy if it was illegal. You have no, how should I put it, you couldn't do this. You say, well, that's a civic duty. Well, yes and no, because the civic duty, remember what happened in New York a few days ago? Are you familiar with that? A guy started being threatening people in public, and one of the guy, and more than one of the guy, grabbed the guy and put him in a headlock, and the guy lost his life. But there were more people helping the guy, restrain. The guy who put him in a headlock was a former Marine, I think. The guy died. Very bad situation. Very bad situation. Now, was that guy justified to kill the guy because he was defending himself and everybody else from these guys' threats? I mean, you know what I mean? Or call the police, and that if it's an imminent threat, to defend yourself. Obviously, I would do the same. I would defend myself. But if that is okay, then this is okay too. You're just a citizen, and that's a public space. Okay, however you want it. Call the police. If it's illegal, police shows up, I'm guaranteeing you, comes over there, assesses the situation, and enforces the law. This is in a civilized society. I don't know if anybody called the police to come and assess the situation. Otherwise, the guys would have succeeded in laying that wrath at, whatever the cemetery where they went. So let's see, let's read further. So Andreev failed to lay a wreath at the cemetery of Soviet soldiers due to aggressive crowd and had to leave the memorial. The ambassador confirmed that he had not been injured. On May 9th last year, the ambassador was doused with red paint while trying to lay wreath at the cemetery of Soviet soldiers in Warsaw. Now this, again, if someone would do this in public to you, you can press charges. Again, you can be angry, but still you have to respect the law. You know what I mean? So I think an example that my assessment is that we're not more civilized than people were, 6,000 years ago. We're just a little bit more trained, like the dogs, so they don't poop here. Wherever they want, they go and poop in a certain location or wait until you get them out. Or the cat that is trained to poop in one place. That's all. But it's still a cat. It's still a cat that still, eats the way it is. But that's the only thing. We're a little bit trained. But in the essence, we're still the same animals. I mean, how do you do? As I said, you agree with that? Put yourself in the other shoe. Put yourself in the other person's shoes and see how would you like. Say, well, they commit crimes that, yeah, but you're not the judge. You're just a member, another citizen of a society. You have no authority over that guy's, freedom of movement. You understand that? Unless you don't follow the law. So I don't know why probably they didn't have to. Probably they said, well, last year when these guys did that to us, nobody did anything about it, so why should they bother this time? I don't know any more details on this one, but I think it's, I know passion, I know anger, I experience them often. It's just, you have to have a bit of self-restraint. Otherwise, you're going to be like an animal. You prevent that guy's, okay, man, good job. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people were proud of themselves for doing that. And this reminds me of some idiots that I know, talking about, well, that person died and he was not vaccinated, and they were happy about it. He got what he deserved. We live with these people around us all the time. Even on the television, there were some people who said the same thing. Well, he was not vaccinated, like he deserved to die. Or why should he go to the hospital now that he got COVID if he didn't want to be vaccinated? Again, animals, rubble, votes. Those guys go and vote like everybody. And I'm not trying to say, hey, we're a little bit here more sophisticated. But at least we observe these things, I think, the way they are. Those guys don't even observe it that way. They really think they did the right thing over there. And there's a lot of them. I think I would say majority. I didn't conduct an opinion poll, but I have a gut feeling. And I think as a male, sometimes I could be a man. I could be allowed to have gut feelings from time to time. So, whatever. these are the people. These are the people who are celebrating something, but that could happen to him too. And then they will cry for, oh my God, that happened. Well, that means unjust. Injustice, not justice, injustice. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.